The moment the grand chamber fell silent, it was as if time itself had paused. The warm glow of crystal chandeliers reflected across gleaming marble floors, while rows of seated guests remained perfectly still, waiting for a decision everyone assumed had already been made. This gathering was more than just a display of rank or custom. It was a turning point that would silently alter the course of several lives. At the heart of it all stood a man of great influence and a household eager to secure its standing, completely unaware that a single, honest choice was about to unravel everything they believed to be certain. Before we continue, if you believe in compassion, new beginnings, and stories that remind us that real value lies beneath the surface, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who could use some encouragement, and subscribe to World of Kindness. And let us know in the comments where you're watching from. Your support helps these stories reach hearts all across the world. Duke Alaric Hawthorne was widely known not just for his immense fortune, but for his unwavering sense of integrity. He had inherited an ancient estate and, along with it, a legacy of fairness that was rare among the elite. When he arrived at the Whitmore estate that afternoon, most people believed his intention was obvious. The Whitmore family had 2 daughters, and tradition suggested alliances were forged through beauty, reputation, and public admiration. The eldest daughter, Celine Whitmore, was admired wherever she appeared. Her elegance drew praise, her confidence commanded attention, and her presence never went unnoticed. The younger daughter, Mara Whitmore, stood quietly nearby, often unseen, her gentle nature mistaken for evil. From a very young age, Mara had learned just how easy it was to fade into the background without ever leaving the room. She moved with a calm grace, never demanding notice, never forcing herself into conversations that passed around her as though she were invisible. While Celine was guided toward grand halls and applause, Mara found peace among garden paths and library shelves, learning the value of listening rather than performing. Their father, Aldrich Whitmore, was a man completely consumed by appearances. To him, success was something meant to be displayed openly, not something cultivated quietly within. As preparations for the Duke's visit unfolded, the entire household buzzed with unspoken certainty. Every careful arrangement and every expectant glance pointed clearly towards Celine. Mara noticed it all, yet she remained silent. Years of being overlooked had taught her that hope could often be more painful than acceptance. When the moment finally arrived, Aldrich Whitmore escorted the Duke through the hall with confident ease, speaking proudly of heritage, prosperity, and the importance of visible excellence. Without a moment of hesitation, he gestured toward Celine, presenting her as the obvious choice. In his mind, the matter was already decided, but Alaric Hawthorne was not listening to what was being offered. He was watching what was being revealed. He observed Celine's effortless smile, shaped by years of admiration. And then his gaze fell upon Mara, standing quietly at the edge of the room, her hands gently folded, her eyes thoughtful. She neither sought attention nor retreated from the moment. There was a calm strength about her, one rooted not in insecurity, but in quiet self-possession. As the room waited, Alaric felt an unexpected certainty settle within him. He had encountered countless polished faces and rehearsed virtues in his life. What he rarely found was sincerity, untouched by performance. When he finally spoke, his choice defied every single expectation. The reaction spread instantly. Whispers swept through the guests like a sudden wind. Aldrich Whitmore's practiced composure faltered, his carefully arranged future cracking before everyone's eyes. Celine maintained her poise, though a brief flicker of surprise crossed her face. Mara, meanwhile, felt the world slow down around her. She was unprepared for such attention, especially of this kind. Her heart raced, not with excitement, but with utter disbelief. In the days that followed, the estate filled with speculation. Why would a duke choose the daughter no one celebrated? Why turn away from what society had labeled perfection? Some questioned his judgment. Others searched for hidden motives. Mara felt the heavy weight of scrutiny from every direction. Yet deep within her, something remained steady. For the first time, she realized she had not been chosen in spite of who she was, but because of it. As plans for their future took shape, Alaric made time to truly know Mara beyond her appearance. He discovered her deep love for learning, her compassion for those who labored unseen, and her belief that dignity was not something bestowed by rank. Mara, in turn, came to know a man who valued substance over spectacle, whose authority came from a sense of responsibility rather than from ego. The path forward was not without its struggles. Ulrich Whitmore found it difficult to hide his disappointment, and society's expectations weighed heavily on them both. Mara faced moments of doubt, wondering whether she truly belonged in a world that had never made space for her. Yet step by step, she began to understand that being overlooked had forged a strength that others never had the chance to develop. Gradually, perceptions began to change. The servants who had long noticed Mara's kindness felt acknowledged through her rise. Guests who had once dismissed her now found themselves moved by her insight and her grace. Even Celine, who had long been accustomed to constant admiration, came to understand that worth was not a contest, but a spectrum of different qualities. Mara's journey was never about transforming herself. It was about allowing herself to be seen without abandoning the person she had always been. She learned that rejection had never diminished her. It had only prepared her, and Alaric, in choosing her, had not saved her. He had simply recognized her. As the seasons passed and their story spread, it became less about a duke's unexpected decision and more about the quiet strength of authenticity. People spoke of how true value often stands silently, waiting for someone willing to look beyond the obvious. If this story resonates with you, take a moment to engage. Like the video, share your thoughts in the comments, and tell us whether you believe kindness can truly change destinies. Near the close of the celebration marking their union, Mara looked around the room, not with pride, but with gratitude. She had not been chosen because she fit an image, but because she carried something genuine. And that realization, more than any title or any honor, became her greatest reward. Before this story ends, we have one final request. Please comment the word "seen" if you believe quiet hearts deserve recognition too. Because sometimes the most powerful choice isn't the one everyone expects, but the one that finally sees the person who was always there. Thank you for watching.